Check it out. I'm literally starting this video off by moving the stuff off my bed and making it so that I'm not seen as a slob, right? Because if I did this entire video and my bed in the background was unmade, someone somewhere is gonna think, oh, I can't trust this guy. Oh, he's full of it. Look at him. How is he preaching to the camera and his bed is unmade? Like, whatever, man. Apparently, if you make your bed, you can actually lock in bacteria more, where you can have bed bugs easier if you make your bed, something along those lines. So where am I going with all this? What I wanted to preach about right now is the fact that, what is your time worth? What is my time worth? My time, I think it's worth at least 30 an hour, at the least. And I know this for a fact because I can make that quite easily just from doing a taxi service, right? And I don't have to, and that's before expenses, of course, right? And I've made that money doing other things like sales. I just choose not to do door-to-door sales right now because it really screws up my mental health, right? And that's the big thing that I've been considering. What's all this money worth? Because I can always get money back. However, I can't get time, and I don't know if I can get mental health back. I know for a fact, number one, I can't get time back, and two, with mental health, that's terrifying. Honestly, like, if you really break that down, can we get our mental health back if we sacrifice it? How much can we give to the point where we just can't give anymore? Is this why people who are 40 and 50 just seem so disenfranchised, is that the word, with their lives? If they've done the same corporate structure year over year over year over year, and they just don't have the soul anymore to cope with their existence. Their ego, Paul Chek talked about this. He's actually a pretty interesting guru if you'd like more of a spiritual approach to these things. He talks about how the entrepreneur will have their ladder up against the wall, but for 20 years though, it should have been up against this wall essentially, because this ladder was they climbed up this one with pure ego, greed, whatever sin you want to attribute meaning to there. Meanwhile, this one, that ladder represents what they actually wanted to do the whole time, which was just go fish with a joint in their mouth. The simple life, the retirement life. Like, if you really think about it, how cocky do a lot of people get, 30 through 50 especially, and they try to lecture us, the young 20-somethings, because we're all idiots to them, right? Not all of us, but there's a very strong, like, you don't know what you're doing, kid. You don't know anything about anything. Yeah, maybe not. Why are you telling me, though? Do you? If you're 50 plus years old and you're stone-faced, pretty much dead in the eyes, do you really know anything? Is that really the course of life? That you're so focused and you know so much that the world just becomes like, wow, I can't smile at anything because it could mean this, it could mean that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And especially when I'm being lectured by 50 plus year olds that aren't as wealthy as I want to be or as free as I want to be, I just cast that advice and throw it directly in the garbage. Because I think to myself, what is this life besides making a good impact and enjoying it as much as possible while you're doing so? At least for me, that's pretty much the ascribed meaning I've given to it so far. So these people that I listen to that have tried to tell me how to live my life, I think, wait a minute, there are 8 billion of us. What do these people have an understanding of that is so vastly different than mine that I should redirect my life path completely and follow their advice? It's always about questioning the source, if you ask me. I question myself more than anything. I would like to think, at least. Sometimes I get extremely hell-bent on a certain path in life, and I don't stop until I look back and I think that was kind of dumb. And everything happens for a reason, I suppose. But let's take a good example. I did door-to-door sales for 2 summers in a row, and because everything started around May, around July, the hottest month of the year, I was miserable. I couldn't take it anymore. I was literally just dragging my feet, and more than most days, I would still have boosts of energy and I would feel good. But overall, I thought to myself, this is whack. I was pulled in by the allure of the top guys making all the money, and I thought, I've succeeded in so many other things, how come I can't do this? I can go for it. But it made me just miserable. I was getting rejected all day, and no matter how good you are at that, you will be rejected almost 90% of the time. Some people claim that they actually do sell 20 to 30% of their clients, but that's still 70% people that say no, and those are the top cream of the crop. Do I really want to put myself through that, being told no over and over and over? And the answer to the obvious answer is no. Otherwise, I'd still be doing it. But instead, I'm burning incense, right? Kicking it at my apartment and just talking to the camera, doing whatever I want in the moment. Isn't this what the whole idea of retirement looks like? Just doing whatever you want in the moment? Why would I defer, as Tim Ferriss states, why would I implement the deferred life plan when I've clearly seen it doesn't work out for the majority of people that do it, in terms of what I can just tell from their body language, demeanor? A lot of them are overweight too. That's a huge red flag for me. If you're overweight, there's something wrong. It's just objectively a fact to me, because if you're overweight and you're not working out like a strong man, I'm talking about the general masses that are very overweight, there's something you're using the food to cope with. And even if you enjoy going out and having a good set of drinks with the boys, why do we need alcohol to enjoy our friend groups? Why is it not enough to just be around your tribe, your pack of men, women, etc.? Unfiltered conversation can't happen unless there are drinks in you? That didn't make any sense to me. And this is no knock to anyone that does that, because again, I'm only in my early 20s. I don't know for a fact what is essentially good or bad, but I know for a fact, from what I've experienced, watching a lot of people slam alcohol and even weed, something that's like this treasure drug that has no harm to it, right? I've still seen people get wickedly addicted to weed, to the point where they're grabbing a dab pen as soon as they wake up in the morning, and that's how they start their day. Why? Why is it getting high all the time? I like to think Snoop Dogg is real when I come up with this, and I consider that, okay, yeah, he's actually living the lifestyle that he talks about in his interviews and public videos. Is he truly getting high all the time? And even if he is, that's like saying I'm gonna be Elon Musk I'm gonna be Elon Musk by eating his diet, getting terrible sleep, eating junk food. Like, no. No one, almost no one can get to a $300 billion net worth doing things the way Elon Musk does it. People can't even handle a 100-hour work week once, and he's doing it over and over and over. A lot of people like to also talk about how Elon Musk is evil and he just tells people what to do. Well, if it's that easy, why don't you just go do it? Why don't you just tell a bunch of people with your brilliant idea, yeah, go do this and that, and then become as rich as he is? It's that simple, huh? Okay, sure, sure. Hey, teach me. If you know so much, teach me. Be a fellow, help your fellow man, help your fellow woman. Give them some good advice. Tell them what Elon Musk is doing. You understand him to such a degree that you could implement that into the business world and really make a change. Show people, you know what? I don't believe in profit. I'm gonna go take over the market, the car market, and I'm gonna vastly produce cars at almost zero profit margin, or I'm even gonna lose money. I will go bankrupt because I believe so much in not making profit off of others. Actions over everything, man. That's one thing that I've learned so far that's just stuck with me. I've watched so many people and listened to so many people tell me, "Yeah, man, you should do this, you should do that." Okay, well, have you implemented the advice? And how often, how consistently have you implemented your own advice? It's like going to a therapist that has an addiction, which I know a few of them. One of them very closely, I know. And they're telling people what they should do with their addictions. But they have this completely kooky brain trying to advise people on how they should live their life. Pick out, assess the source before taking the advice is probably one of the best things I've decided to take on as a mindset, especially as a younger man. Listening to the wrong people can really screw your life up. It screwed my life up a few times because I had this authority complex given to these leaders that were just a few years, not a few, decades older than me. I assumed I was here because they were here in age, and this is all it was. They had this authority over me because they were either a parental figure, or they were in the family, or they promised me this big sum of money. But in reality, you could be here, and these people could be here depending on where you want to go. Let's say that your goal is not even money. Your goal is just freedom to do whatever you please, and you couldn't care less. As long as your basic needs are met, you can live on 20 grand a year and be happier than a pig in shit because you're doing whatever you want to do, right? You don't have to have luxuries to actually crack a smile, because if that was the case, humans would probably stop obsessively making things better and better and better. If profit is solely the goal, I don't know, man. Why would you chase something over and over if you haven't attained it? Why would you chase something over and over if you've already attained it? If you've already attained happiness, why keep going? Then we talk about fulfillment. And figuring that out, happiness is a pretty easy equation. Basic needs, housing, shelter, food, water, friends, and an intimate life. That on the end, you can argue that's not as necessary, especially in this modern era, I suppose. But I still think it's a critical thing to have. If you have zero intimacy in your life, then it might be, loneliness is one of the worst things. It truly can be, right? Because our minds can create such weird concepts that deter us from just being okay and grateful in the moment where we are. So anyway, knowing the source of advice, understanding I'm just a youngin' figuring it out, and I don't even know if I should say that anymore. Figuring it out, what is there to figure out? How hard is it to understand what it is I truly want, what you truly want? I've been told to stare at a wall, and I heard that like 3 months ago and I still haven't done it. I think I'm going to do that directly after this. Actually, I will do that directly after this video. I'm going to stare at the wall for 10 minutes. And then on the next video, I'll hopefully remember to talk about what I came up with. So, understanding that these people in our lives, sometimes they can mean well, but oftentimes I truly believe they're just trying to project what they want onto us so that their lives feel validated, like they're doing something correctly with their time. You should go be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, you should make millions of dollars, you should have a six-pack, you should do this and do that. Why? And those are very simple examples, but you hear them commonly tossed around, especially in the school system, where they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up, when you're like 7 years old and you're just trying to enjoy your childhood, something that you never get back. And you're asked, what should you do with your life? Why would these people tell us we should do something? Why don't they ask us, hey, what do you want to do? Or what do you think you want to do? And then actually spend a few hours with us and get to know, what do we really want out of life? It's probably because they don't actually care enough. They don't think their time is worth it enough to give someone 3 hours to thoroughly discuss what it is that you want to do. You should do this, you should do that. What's hilarious is I actually have done this so many times in the past. I would meet someone that I knew only for 5 minutes. I literally said, you should do this. What do I know? What if their goals are the opposite of mine? What if they don't care at all about being rich? All they want to do is go be an MMA fighter, and all they care about is training 4 or 5 hours a day, or they just want to be a gardener, or they want to be hiking, they want to travel, they want to write a book. They don't care at all about the money, they care about the process. And meanwhile, I'm over here drunk off my own ego and desires, trying to tell them what they should do. Why? Because I'm probably just as insecure as the people I'm talking about, who I believe don't know what they're talking about. And that's what I'm working on all the time. It's gotten a lot better, thank God. And that's all I've got for today. Knowing the source of where you're getting your advice.